In today's video, I want to explore with you the more beautiful side of Psytrance, and we will make a trippy and psychedelic lead which you can use in a break or before a break. I already prepared an instance of Ana2 and I draw a long MIDI note in G. G is kind of like the root of my scale. And we will make this kind of more dreamy vibe lead today. So let's reset our preset here. And now we just have a pure saw wave here, but we want to have something less aggressive. So we choose a triangle wave here and we will put some sync in it, maybe like this. And then we will choose the low pass filter. So let's go with Mugi low pass. Let's turn it a bit down here. And we will put an arpeggiator in. We want to have a chord with our arpeggiator. So we will take on add ninth chord, we will take a minor chord and add nines. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we have our minor chord, and to build the add ninth chord is pretty simple. So if we go one octave up, we have like the 8th scale degree. So we're basically starting again. And then we go here and then we have the add 9 chord. And at the moment it sounds like this. So let's go with this, but we want to have it more gated. And we want to have it a little bit more open. Can also make it more plucky. The Ana2 filter is a bit more plucky. And now we will start to put our pattern in. Let's put it on clear, then here on retrigger. So let's just go up in our chord and down, and then maybe we go like this. Just trying around a bit. We don't have even a 5th note. Maybe let's go down here. We could add maybe go up here in the third part of our bar. We could give like a little extra. And here we could also maybe go down. I think that's already quite nice. Maybe we can also drag this over here. But doesn't probably do too much with the gate here. So let's remove that idea. I come back to that later if I don't forget it. I have something nice I want to show you with the Ana. So now we have our pattern here. We can also move this a little bit closer together, the pattern, if we do inversions. So if we invert this, and chord inversion is basically you take the upper notes and move them one octave down. So this is like the first inversion here. Obviously it will change our arpeggio, notice, because our notes are a little bit different. So the second note is basically now this note instead of this. But we can try around what sounds good. Keep it a little bit more happy for now. We also want to have the amplitude a little bit more plucky. To make the amplitude a bit more plucky, we need to go down with our sustain level, and then we need to go down with the decay time. Putting the filter a little bit more, so this env is basically influencing how much this filter envelope is applied here. I usually put on the EQ here in Ana already in the presets and remove some of the lows. Can also push a little bit the clarity up here. Or we could go down here and do it like this. Okay, we will come back to the EQ. Now, we want to make it a little bit more interesting, so we will do the following. First, let's push it a bit in volume, but we want to add some effects here. So we will add a delay, not a ping pong, but a dotted 8 delay here. Maybe we go for a ping pong then. That's already cool. We can check out the ping pong as well. I like the other one a bit more. I think that's already quite cool. I want to get a little bit more shape into the sound. It's a little bit flat also. And we will use this LFO to modulate our filter here. Filter 1 frequency. We don't want to go too fast here and not too crazy on the depth, because otherwise it's hard to control it. It makes it like a little bit more interesting because it adds some variation, especially if you don't put the rate on sync. We will also put an LFO on sync, but this way you don't have it like always coming together at the same point. So because the envelope is basically triggered with the note, and this one is not in sync, so it has a frequency here in hertz. Of course, it repeats as well, but it's not repeating kind of like at the same point of the note always, and that makes it a little bit more interesting for the ear. But we can also try to give one here in the note and put this on sync to our 16th notes. But I would go for like a mono here. Mono means that we are only adding something. So if that's the 0 line here, because in the beginning I was wondering, yeah, mono, does it have to do something with left right? But no, on this LFOs it's basically that you have your 0 line here, and if you have a mono LFO, it just adds something on top. So if you see the non-mono version, it also goes into the negative area here. So now let's move on and we will add some more stuff. Maybe you can also try to add like a second filter. Let's try it here. That's things I would usually then map to macro knobs. So I will put the first, I always put usually on the filter which controls the main frequency. So either like filter master frequency here, or in that case, I want to go a little bit more with the first filter. And then we can use the second macro now to add this vowel thing in here. Filter. And I think it was something good like to up here, and then it wasn't so cool anymore. So that's why we will go like that. And as we're now controlling this, maybe we can also go. That's interesting that it's not really influencing anything, so let's move that down. My intention is basically I wanna be able to control with this macro the sound from like barely hearable to like a stage where I think it sounds cool. Yeah, I think something like that is nice. So let's move on and make this even more interesting. I will add a reverb, but I would recommend you to add the reverb in the end of the chain if you're doing things here, like I do, but let's go for this now. And we want to shape the sound a bit. Maybe a chorus could be nice, like it's already there. Yeah, the chorus is quite nice. I want to shape the sound a bit before the chorus, and I like either the wave shaper or the bit crusher a lot to do this. Now with the bit crusher you need to be careful. If you put the rate up, it sounds ugly. But if you put it to very low rates, like up to like 6% or something, I think it kind of like adds something nice to the sound. Listen. So for my taste, that's really nice here. And we will add something else. This is also something I really enjoy a lot. It's you put it on a high feedback and then you put it like approximately like below 50 milliseconds. I think I have seen that on a video on All-in Music. You can basically calculate the perfect delay time. So this is kind of like building up a resonator, and you can calculate that time. So you can calculate those frequencies. So for example, G1 has 49 Hertz. And if you divide 1 through 49 Hertz and multiply it x 1000 for milliseconds, then you get the delay time. Usually like over 50, it starts kind of like to fall apart, the sound. Anyways, this is way too much, so we want to only apply this a little bit. So that's also something I would assign to the macro knobs. So it's our 3 delay here. And we could add here like a dry wet for that. Let's call this fall apart. And maybe we could combine this with this. So we put this to ARP gate lengths and downwards. Okay, cool. Then what else can we do? We can use this one here maybe to pan our oscillator, like left, right. Then we could add another LFO. We synced our oscillator in the beginning, so let's put this on oscillator 1 sync. Now we will make this sound even more interesting, and we will add, what will we add? We will add another octave down and some second sound. Yeah, I think something like that is nice. And we can use that trick here I showed in the last tutorial, which I learned from presets. We will turn our oscillator 1 volume down, not fully, but like a little bit. And our oscillator 2 volume, we will turn up, also not fully, but to some degree. And then we will turn this completely down here. Probably something in the LFO, which I thought would be the square here, but let's try this. I will show you a cool trick in a second, but I still want to mention that our masterclass registration is currently running. Anyways, the stuff I show you here is kind of like only the surface of sound design. So I'm still kind of like a student of my coach Lunatica, and in the Psytrance Academy, he will also go a little bit deeper how like a professional like him design sounds, and we will push it like very, very soon to our whole network. So I have like a big email list, and he has his Instagram and Facebook. So if you still want to secure one of our like discounted tickets, then you should drop me an email fast. You find my email in the description box below. So if you want to take the chance on that, then better be fast before it gets more expensive. So now we will mess a little bit more around here in the ARP. So one thing we didn't set so far is here the velocity. So maybe we want to like go here like up, down, and then maybe in the end we want to come up a little bit more. We can also push a little bit more on beats and make our off beats a little bit more weaker. And we had this one note in 9, if you remember, which we put 1 octave up. So let's try if this sounds better if it's louder. I think we didn't map the velocity already to stuff, so we will put the velocity here to filter master frequency. And now I want to show you a cool thing you can do. Let's create a MIDI track here. And we say, let's receive MIDI from YouTube here. So that's the name of this channel here. And then we say instrument rack Ana2. And now we can go here and record the MIDI out of the Ana ARP. So now let's say we want to have those 4 here. We could move that over here. So we have recorded our MIDI here from the ARP. So it's exactly the same as the ARP. And we will turn now the ARP and the command off So this is playing really the notes we put in here. And that way we can mess around. So we can, for example, like, let's loop this 2-bar loop. Now we should have the same. And now we could do some more crazy stuff. So for example, make one note longer, or maybe like, or let's take this note and move them 1/8 note to the right. And then, for example, draw a long note. I think that kind of like gap here sometimes, that kind of like syncopation can sometimes make the impression of the synthesizer talking to itself. So like question answer thing with itself. Just to be said, so you're not so limited to the arpeggiator, because I think it's like a pain in the Ableton to put in like more than 1 bar here. And if you want to have some variations, or if you want to do like things which you don't want to have the gate applied to all the notes, then it's sometimes really useful to record it out. As we have this recorded out, you can use it also in like any other synth. So for example, if you want to let this synth play first, and then you want to take it into your favorite synth, the Vital. I know that this is kind of like the hot synth right now. And then you could, for example, put a cool preset. So for example, one of Dash's cool presets on here. And this one is pretty cool, and I think it might work. And you could even let them both maybe play together. I mean, I wouldn't play them like at the exact same spots, but you could, for example, maybe like move.
If you enjoyed this video, then you should also check out my videos on music theory for Psytrance. There you will find more about chords, which you can use in the arpeggiator and command of the Ana2.